Are we worried? Are we worried about this man, Jamar Chase? And the answer is yes. The answer is how could you not be worried about him? And the question is, what can you do? Some of you can still trade. Some of you cannot. I'm surprised at actually how many leagues still allow trading right now. I had a couple people last week say, Smitty, trades are over in week 10. No, they're not. Week 11's the big week where people can still make trades. Deadlines are coming, and a lot of things crash down in week 11. But I think at least 25-30% of you can still make trades in at least 1, 2, 3 of your 10, 15 leagues. This man right here is not going to do what he was even remotely close to capable of doing with Joseph Cigar Smoking Burrow. So if you own him, the only move to make is to try and get rid of him for something creative. You can't send him straight up for a player that's of equal value if his situation wasn't taking a turn and crumbling and just kind of making probably one of the worst dynamics that we've seen in a while for an elite wide receiver and him getting the football. This is Garrett Wilson right here. This is Garrett Wilson. Welcome to Garrett Wilson with Zach Wilson throwing to him. That's the way this feels. This is the type of production you're probably going to get. Once in a while, you're going to get a 90-yard and a touchdown affair. Once in a while, you'll get 90 yards, 7 receptions, 12 targets. It's going to happen. But you're also going to get 0, 2 points, 4 points. Is not going to be pretty. The question is, what do you do? Can you do anything? The Fantasy Football Show begins right now.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios.
It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live!
Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
Live whenever news breaks. Live here for you Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Rain or shine. Christmas Day. Well, Christmas Day might be. We might do a later show or something on Christmas Day. 364 days a year. No, we're 365. I don't think there's a day I don't go live. I can't remember a day I didn't go live, at least during the graveyard shift, midnight, something like that. We do it. That's how we do it. That's how Dad did it. That's how America does it. And you deserve that. Nobody deserves a show to be like we're Monday through Friday, 8 p.m., but I go live every single day. Nobody deserves their favorite show to not be available every single day. That sounds ridiculous to me. That's why we're here. That's why we do what we do. We're here to discuss this. I'm not excited about this topic. Why? Because I'm a Bengals connoisseur. I'm a Cincinnati Bengal fan. I'm a Joe Burrow fan. I'm a Jamar Chase fan. But we also are realistic people. We also have a job to do, which is make determinations and educated guesses and moves and maneuvers, adjust and adapt seasons every season, adjust and adapt week is every week. And some of you can still make a trade. Some of you can still try to figure a way out of this upcoming mess that might be good once in a while. Maybe Browning's okay. Maybe he throws the football at a decent capacity. But here's the problem and where the rub lies, okay? The fact remains, even when Joe Burrow was in the game, granted hurt, granted struggling with the calf, Joe Burrow and Chase struggled for many games together. What makes anybody think that without Joe Burrow, this man's not going to struggle in a major way? No one's asking you to go out and trade him straight up for a wide receiver 3. No one's asking you to go get rid of Jamar Chase for James Conner. Not that James Conner is garbage. I don't mean to say it that way. He'll probably have 3 touchdowns in the upcoming week, but I'm just because I said that. No one's saying that you should be going and selling him for literally anything you can get your hands on. And again, a lot of you can't trade. Not everybody. And I venture to say that almost every single one of you can trade because you have probably one league where you can. This isn't your mom and dad's fantasy football season where you played in one league. So if your trade deadline hit, you can't trade. No, you guys have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 4 leagues your wives don't know about. You're playing in a handful of leagues. You can trade in one of those. So really, this does apply to almost every single one of you, just not in a majority of your leagues. About, I would say 30, 40% of leagues, maybe 25 to 35% of leagues can still trade for one more week. Or some have no trade deadlines because they're dynasty leagues. And I get that. I understand that. I respect that. And I actually play in a couple of those. So this does apply to a lot of you, just to a less degree than others, depending on your league. But what I would say here is you're careful, but you're creative. And let's say you're trying to trade away Jamar Chase. Thank you, Carmine, for the super chat that's still on screen here. I appreciate you. 205 of you in the building, 21 thumbs up. Is there a way to maybe fix those rookie numbers real quick? 21 thumbs up with 214 already filed into the show. We can do better than that. Please hit that thumb up button for your boy. Appreciate you. Let's see what we can cook up on a Jamar Chase trade. Can you get a dig straight up? You absolutely cannot. Even this man struggling looks more attractive to own in 2023, week 12 on, than Jamar Chase. But here is where the trickery comes. This is where the advantage that you can inject into this situation comes to play. Who can you throw into this mix right here to make this deal happen? There's several names that you could throw in. And if I go to thefantasyfootballshow.com rankings, where all of you can go to get your year-round rankings, bold predictions, trade advice, etc., I'm looking at a list of RBs and I'm saying to myself, okay, there's a couple here that come to mind as players that could be thrown in, even a potential Derrick Henry, even a potential Ramondre Stevenson, even a potential Mixon or Rachaad White. So let's start with one of those names. Let's start with Mixon or Rachaad White. Now, I'm not saying Rachaad White is bad. I'm not saying Rachaad. Some might even say, hey, Smitty, I'd rather have Rachaad White over Jamar Chase. And if you did a 1-for-1 on that, I could understand that. But if you own, let's say you own a Mixon, you want out of this offense entirely, you could add something to this if you don't feel that that's fair enough. If you think they're going to lean on Mixon heavily going forward, that's fine. I'm not opposed to you adding something to the deal. Sometimes you can add such a heavy second player that it does require a little kickback. But the bottom line is, I would give up Jamar Chase and a very solid player for Stephon Diggs. I would potentially look to do a Rachaad White Chase for Diggs and smaller piece, because even though this is an attractive side, and again, you could get something pretty decent here. Think about Ridley last week. Ridley is almost untouchable after 1 week because his owner's so excited about what he did. But last week, you could have easily had Ridley thrown into a deal like this as if he's free. Take him. I don't even want to look at his face anymore. Ridley, you got to think big in terms of going and getting a player that absolutely has massive value. You could even say something along the lines of like Henry and Diggs, and let's say they have a player that you could even say a bigger name here. I'll even say, I'm trying to think of a name that makes a lot of sense here. Like if let's say the Diggs owner had Pollard, and they're still very, very worried about Pollard. You could trade Chase and a bigger name player than Pollard and get this upgrade from Chase into Diggs. If you don't muddy the waters of the trade, if you don't make it diverse and confusing and dilute the risk, no one's trading you. Nobody's trading you. Diggs for Chase. Everybody's gonna, if you do a 1-for-1, they're gonna say to themselves, why in the hell would I take on the risk of Chase, even though there's a lot of risk here? What's the turmoil going on right now that's making this guy play like crap? He's non-existent. Diggs is non-existent. He's a worry. There's a lot of people worried about him. But who in the hell is gonna say that this worry outweighs this worry? Nobody. So you have to inject two different players, buy a player that you like quietly better, sell a player you feel like could quietly come crashing down. Again, I don't know, maybe you were highly invested in Bengals. Mixon, I believe, will come crashing down because guess what Mixon's going to face? 8-man front after 8-man front after 8-man front. And if we go back to thefantasyfootballshow.com rankings and I try and come up with a couple names, let's say Diggs and let's use the Pollard example. Pollard, maybe we'll use Keaton Mitchell next. Maybe we'll use Achane next. Let's say this owner right here has Jamar Chase and a player like, let's say Jacobs. This right here, to some of you, might feel pretty damn close. You might say to yourself, and this is what I'm trying to invoke, a sense of like, oh, I'd rather have Jacobs, because that's the whole point. You're not going to get someone to let go of this downgrade that you're doing if you don't get them thinking about this right here. This is the misdirection. This is the sleight of hand. Telling somebody Jacobs is better than Pollard and having them argue this, and you take on the risk of Pollard, who had a fairly decent bounce back game, but it still was underwhelming. This is how you get the misdirection going to where they don't understand they're giving away their season. This is giving away your season right here. This Diggs down to Chase downgrade is punting your season, and you're not even allowing them to see it because of the misdirection of this right here. You're going to have to buy the doubted player here. This can't be a player that's secure. This has to be more secure than this player, but it has to be an acceptable downgrade for you to feel comfortable to do the move. But this is what it's all about, the misdirection. If you don't do a 2-for-2 or some sort of 2-for-1 or 1-for-2, in this, you're probably not getting it done. Nobody's going to take Chase straight up 1-for-1. Nobody. You can't even go across position and get an RB. Who's going to, let's say, if we're not using Diggs is the best example, but let's say you wanted to trade for Jacobs. No one's doing this. No one's doing this 1-for-1. Nobody. Bijan. No one is doing this 1-for-1. Why would anybody do it? There's no upside. So, inject the misdirection into the trade. Now we say Bijan plus what is what you're getting for Chase and what? Bijan and what? What player? Debo. Debo's got a lot of upside, and I know Ayuk just popped off. That's why he's an attainable player. People are concerned. Will the volume be there? I think it will. I think Debo's a very good bet right now. And Bijan and Debo for Jamar Chase. You might even get that straight up. This might be the example of the 2-for-1, where you are able to get rid of Jamar Chase, but you throw in something small just to get them to be thinking about this massive, maneuver they're making. Bijan's the only one that feels vulnerable enough that you might be able to do something like this. Past that, it really is hard to imagine somebody taking one gamble on Chase, giving up Bijan, but I've seen this done. Even if you throw in like a Nico, even if you throw in a potential tight end, let's say you got McBride and you got Kincaid. Now you can throw McBride in. And you don't need McBride because you got Kincaid, so you're fine doing this. This is the kind of kicker that is needed, just this little kicker to get them not thinking about this right here. The last thing you want the owner doing is thinking about this. You want them thinking about this. That's how you trade Jamar Chase. There's really only one way to do it. That is the way. That is the way. Hopefully you guys have some avenues to explore in getting rid of Jamar Chase. Let's see here. I'm trying to read some of these questions here. Exactly, Chase will get lots of single coverage going forward, says Rick. I don't know if there's how much Chase support's in here, and it's okay if you've got Chase support. I'm not saying anybody deserves to take a lap. If your thinking here is you want to buy Chase, I'm not. I'm selling him. First super chat of the evenings from B-Men. B-Men, appreciate you. Standing ovation always given to the first super chat of the show. A show that I might add is brought to you by Grindhouse, GRNDHAUS, Grindhouse gear and apparel, the best apparel on the planet as far as I'm concerned. Your boy wearing a Grindhouse Spider hoodie right here. My studio lights are making the color look a little bit different, but this is the yellow Spider hoodie, and it's absolutely glorious. It's so comfortable. This material is the best material, I believe, in hoodie form. And what better way to have a hoodie mixed with movies, vintage movies like Godzilla, King Kong, Spider. These are vintage movies straight from the Addict. 40 years ago, original prints, like movie posters on the back, type of hoodie. It's phenomenal. Grindhouse, Grndhaus. In the description of every video, you can find a Grindhouse link. And also visit them on Instagram at Grndhaus Supply, Grindhouse Supply on Instagram. We will be talking more about Grindhouse going forward, by the way. Charbonnet versus San Francisco or Jaylen Warren versus Cincy. I think Jaylen Warren is the answer right now, but love both these cats going forward, bro. Trade away Lamb and Ridley for Jameer Gibbs and Waddle. I probably lean toward the Lamb Ridley by a hair, and this is coming from a huge Jameer Gibbs owner. I like where your head's at. I just think maybe you maneuver that a little differently. Brian traded Amon-Ra and Javonte for Diggs and Kyron. I take Diggs and Kyron, and I freaking run, bro. That's a fantastic trade. James, need a running back, got offered Love, Warren for Stroud. Also, trade away Brees for ETN. I'd rather have ETN. JT, I'd rather have JT over Brees. And I'd rather have Brees over Henry. Thank you. Appreciate you. Should I accept? So on this offer right here, need a running back. Got offered Love. If you're going from Stroud, though, to Love, I don't hate it, but I don't know that I do that. I think Stroud's very, very vital right now. If this is your backup quarterback, then it makes a lot of sense, and I Smitty approved the trade in general. But not if you're going to Love from Stroud. I think Stroud's better. Chase or DJ Moore this week. I like Warren, though, a ton. Chase or DJ Moore this week. I'm going to go probably DJ Moore this week. DJ Moore straight up is a potential opportunity you could look at. Got to sit one ETN, Kamara, Pollard, Warren, Sharps. Got to sit one Adams, Ridley, Moore. I'd probably sit... Bro, I don't know. How do you sit Ridley after that game? How do you sit DJ Moore? Chat, who we sitting at? Adams, Ridley, DJ Moore. Let's get some group think here for Nate W. And as for this other question, I'm probably sitting Charbonnet out of this lot of players. But you have amazing running backs. You have an amazing situation. Nate, I don't know if you could still make a trade by the two players you're sitting. Trade them away for some sort of upgrade somewhere. $5 hauler. I can't wait for the rookie draft content this offseason. Wideout class and QB class is looking very deep. My favorite show. Here on YouTube. Thank you, Aaron. Appreciate you. And yeah, I can't wait for all the January post-January 1 content. It's my favorite time of the year. I absolutely love it. I still love the season. I don't want anybody to think I don't love being here right now, but I'm admitting to you, I'm always honest about it. My favorite content creation parts of the year are January 1 through August because there's so much creativity. It's less like, hey, who am I starting? Over and over and over. Same. Not that I hate that, but it's creativity time for me. So I love the off season. $20 hauler from Nate coming in strong.
Alert. Super chat alert.
$20 super chat. $20 super chat.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Nate, appreciate you, big dog. I had Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase stacked, so I had to make a move. I had Russell Wilson on my bench. I traded Russell Wilson and Jamar Chase, Zach Charbonnet for Justin Herbert and DJ Moore.
You've just been Smitty approved.
I don't mind that at all. I think that's the kind of creative move that can get you out of a mess. I don't mind that at all. DJ Moore and Chase will be very comparable moving forward, and you just upgraded your quarterback massively. So I like that. Joe R., full PPR, traded Ayuk and Ford for Godwin and Diggs. I'd rather have Godwin and Diggs by quite a bit. Although the Ayuk Ford side is crafty, I will say I don't think you smashed him to pieces, but I would take it. I have DJ Moore and ETN and Bijan and HN. I like the move, bro. Joe, I Smitty approve that. James, how about Brees and Warren for CJ or CJ for Fields? Or CJ. Brees or Warren or CJ. Brees for Warren or CJ for Fields. I'm confused on this question, James. Brees for Warren. Okay, so just one for one, I would say. I don't know if this is some sort of like alternate question or whatever, if these are two separate questions. So Brees for Warren, I'd probably say, look, Warren's a little safer. That's hard to admit, but that's a just and adapt season. But I do love them both. I think Brees does have a great schedule. It's just a matter of like, how's this offense look? I think Warren's safer. Brees is higher risk, higher upside. Much higher upside. Brees does. But I love Warren. CJ Stroud or Fields, I'm going CJ Stroud. But Fields has the capability of being a top 5 quarterback the rest of the season. He just also has the capability of being outside the top 10. Whereas CJ Stroud feels like he's locked into that 5, 6, 7, and that he's there. He's not going to be 10. He's not going to be 12. He's literally a top 7, top 8, at least top 8. Top 5, 6, 7, 8 quarterback right now. Lowell says trade Olave for Bijan. I would take Bijan, go forward. I would. I think it's Bijan season, baby. I got a video on this. Go check it out. Doing it live. It's the future child of my choice, says Reebok. What is that on? Reebok, appreciate you being here. All right. Still flexing Chase, though. Michael, as you should. You're not getting rid of him. You're not getting rid of him for pennies on the dollar. It's just a matter of, can you get out of him in a crafty trade? 7-4 half PPR QB Tua, running backs ETN, Bijan, Achane, Brees, wide receivers Diggs, AJB, DK, DJ Moore, Kittle, and McBride. Any trades before the playoffs? Honestly, I like this team a lot, and I'm just letting it ride. Unless I'm trading DK and McBride to upgrade Tua slightly, Josh Allen would be one of my prime go-get players for you. So unless you're getting Josh Allen using a surplus of this DJ Moore, McBride, maybe even Kittle. Like Kittle and Tua getting Josh Allen. Look, Josh Allen's worth it. Use maybe Mahomes, maybe Tua and McBride for Mahomes. Throw in something small. I don't mind that. That's a good team. Anthony, appreciate you. Let's see here. That was breezy, right, with the question, the 7-4 team. Yeah. Anthony, 8-team, full PPR, 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, 1 flex. AJ Brown, Collins, Adams, Metcalf, Ridley, Debo, Pacheco, Singletary, Kyron, Stevenson. What do you do? AJ Brown, Adams. You got a surplus of wide receivers, so I'm trying to upgrade Pacheco. I keep Kyron. Singletary, Pacheco, Stevenson. Upgrade those in combinations with Metcalf and potentially Ridley right now, right here, right now. JT, ETN, even Bijan maybe using the wide receivers. I'd trade Metcalf and Pacheco for Bijan and something, or Stevenson specifically. But do it live. Go do it now before Bijan bounces back. Does MT to IR help anyone? Olave, Perry, Rashid, everybody. I mean, it helps everybody, James. I mean, it probably helps Olave the most. Winston needs to be the starter. Let's hope he is. Carr is still, questionable to a degree right now, so we'll have to see. Drop Hollywood for Charbonnet or Warren or Singletary. I definitely take Warren out of everybody here. He's the league winner more so than any of the rest of them, but you kind of need all of them. But absolutely go get Warren, bro. Go watch the waiver wire video. He's a 10 out. The odds of him being the best pickup of the year, he got a 10 out of 10 score on that. 8-3, and I have Justin Herbert with Baker on the bench. Should I trade for a quarterback or play Herbert? I mean, Herbert's fine, bro. I would say keep Herbert and work on other pieces of your team versus trying to upgrade Herbert, because Herbert's at least capable of being as good as really anybody on any given Sunday. $10 hauler from that boy
to the moon.
If you have Herbert or even Tua, I'm not really focused. I'd try and get a Mahomes or a Josh Allen, but I would work very, very little on that, and I'd more so be trying to get these other people like Bijan and Gibbs. Bijan and Diggs are the 2 best buy lows this week. Trade over 10-team, 2 QB, 3 wide receivers, 5 and 6, won 4 straight. Rate the team: Herbert, Purdy, Puka, Devonta Smith, Debo, Gibbs, Pollard, Kincaid, and Warren at the flex. Bench K9 Charbonnet. Love it. I mean, 8 or 9 out of 10, that boy. I think your dilemma will be like, who do you start each week, and do you get it wrong 8 times out of 10 because you got 2 good options there. But I think Warren will come in just in the nick of time. You got to put the Seattle backs on the bench if it's Warren that's going to come in, and it is what it is for now, and then you decide later what to do with that Seattle backfield. 2 QB league, $10 hauler.
To the moon.
Nice team, that boy. I think you're in a good place. 2 QB league, only roster. Can only roster 3. I have Goff, Dobbs, Fields. Both Fields and Dobbs on a bye week 13, leaving 1 QB slot empty. Would you trade Fields or for Sam Howell? I suppose in that situation you have to do this. I guess. I mean, well, you have Goff though, right? I have Goff, Dobbs, Fields, both Fields and Dobbs. I mean, you just play Goff. I don't know that I think I keep the upside of Fields. We trade Fields for Sam Howell at 5. Yeah, I probably look. Goff is hit and miss, but I don't think I'm maneuvering out of a 2 QB league Fields situation because Fields has a lot of upside. I know Howell's been playing great all year. We've loved Howell. Howell's been a super flex gold mine, and one of the most talked about QBs to get for anybody on this channel as your second QB. But I still think Fields has more upside to win the league, so I don't trade him for 1 week. 10 team, 6 and 5. Hurts, ETN, Pollard, Brees, Charbonnet, Bigsby, Mitchell, Chase, JJ, Puka, and Addison. Downs, Laporta. By the way, another great, a great Chase move if you're trading Chase away, and this might be kind of attainable, 1-for-1, but you just might have to add a small piece. Would be Puka. That's probably one of the best players to go trade Chase for right now. But again, if you have to give up something small, that's okay. Trade Chase, Pollard, Addison for Diggs and Gibbs. I'd take Diggs and Gibbs and I'd run from the veto police, James. Like, it's not even close.
You've just been...
Thank you for your super chat, my guy. Go smash that trade. Come back and tell us when it's done. Rick, $5 hauler, 4 L's in a row, 5 and 6. Trade or let it ride. QB, 2 running back, 2 wide receiver flex. Mahomes, Russell, Achane, Kyren, Diggs, AR, or Amon-Ra, St. Brown, Olave, Dell. I'd let it ride. That's a really good team. Rick, you've had some bad luck. It's all coming together. Kyren's back. Hopefully Achane plays, and you're good to go, bro. Bijan or Brees? I'm going to go Bijan rest of season. But there's a little bit of a dice roll there. 6 and 5, 10-team league. Standard Mahomes, Fields, Pollard, Achane, Brees, Kyren, Amon-Ra, Adams, Cooper Kupp, Downs, Andrews. God, anything doing before the trade deadline. That sucks. You lost Andrews and Cooper Kupp's banged up, but I think you're really good. You got 2 really good wide receivers still, and hopefully Kupp gets going for you. You're not going to be able to trade Kupp for much injured right now. So I'd probably say, given that you've got, unless you can trade, like, if it's 1 QB, which I think it is based on you not saying it's Superflex, maybe Fields and Brees or Fields and Pollard for like a doubted Eckler. Tommy could be maybe the maneuver that helps you win this league. Like something to that degree, because that's the only thing I can see you doing. Other than that, I like it, but I think you could go get that top 3 running back using that combination if that person needed any of your surplus. Kirk, Dell, or Achane, starting Gibbs and Monty. I mean, you got to go Dell right now in almost any example, really. But we'll have to see on Achane whether I believe Achane should put Monty on the bench. I'm going to take this sweater off because it's a little hot in the studio here with all the lights and everything. As it gets cooler, your boy's going to be able to wear this hoodie throughout the entirety of the show. Grindhouse to the moon. Grindhouse to the freaking moon. It's so hot in here. All right, let's open the phone lines, people.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Phone lines sponsored by Christopher Smith. Drop a $431 super chat. Knock them off this list. Will Snipe Selly is also in there. Appreciate you, Wheel Snipe. To the freaking moon, pal. Okay, we're going to take some phone calls here and have some discussions around maybe some last-minute trades. Maybe some of you have some dilemmas you'd like to talk about. So hit me with it. Let's go. Let's see who this is. 773. Who's this? What's your name? Where are you calling from? Senior Rojo. Okay. Senior, what's up, my man? Haven't heard from you.
Man.
Senior Rojo, my guy.
Yes, sir.
What can I do for you?
Man, first off, I got to say, give you mad props because my team is just beasting. You are the truth on the real, man. I got a beautiful problem. Lost Burrow, but I still got love. I'm starting Swift, Gibbs, Lamb, St. Brown, Kincaid. And this year, we took out the defense and kickers, so we got 2 flex. So I know I'm playing Dell, but now I don't know who the other flex should be. I got Sharps and Warren and Hopkins to choose from JSN too. So any suggestions you got, man, I'm willing to hear, man.
So Hopkins,
Thanks again.
Warren, Charbonnet, JSN. I think that's pretty easy, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, Warren looks great right now. I think everybody in here, we can get a group think answer on this one, but I think everybody in here is going to say you got to let Warren play ball. Like, Hopkins is capable, but he's capable in both directions, doing not what you expect, and you get pissed off. And Charbonnet's got a tough Niner matchup. And on top of that, it's like, you know, they've been having struggles anyway. Like, I like Charbonnet a lot. If you have Charbonnet, he could be a league winner, a savior. But you've also got the other league winner, the other savior. And on the waiver wire show, even though Warren's only available in like 21 to like 22% of leagues, it was enough of a number that I felt like I needed to put him on this waiver list, even if we're going to say, hey, I know a lot of you aren't going to see him on waivers, but he's the top pickup of the week if he's there. Sharps is definitely like 2, but my waiver wire show alone answers this question. But yeah, it's Warren for me.
Sweet, man. Thanks, man. Keep it up, man.
Hey, appreciate the kind words, and Senior Rojo to the moon. Later.
For sure.
Let's go over to Marsman Rock Out. Yeah, there he is. Marsman Rock Out. What's up, my guy?
Yeah, would you pick up Russ as a backup?
Yeah, over who though? I mean, you need a backup.
I'm dropping Burrow.
Burrow. Yeah. I would definitely grab him. I mean, worst case scenario, you don't have to use him, but you can't like wait until another injury strikes the quarterback, you know, the fantasy quarterback space, and then everyone's scrambling again, and you have no options. Like the worst thing in the world is to lose a playoff game because you have no quarterback, bro. It's like the dumbest lack of preparation move ever.
And would you drop JSN or Foreman for either Chandler or Reed?
Chandler or who?
Or Reed from Packers?
Oh, Reed. Yeah, I would definitely drop Foreman, who's banged up right now.
For Reed or Chandler?
Reed's better for the long term. Chandler's tough to... I think Chandler's pretty solid. Like, you need an RB. Chandler's the PPR guy. Like, he's the guy that it looks like they're going to give 4 or 5 receptions to a game. So that's pretty good. So I guess I would say Chandler. I would lean Chandler. And we've always kind of liked Chandler on the show. He's always been kind of a sleeper backup. Watch him. You know, keep an eye on him. He's like, we thought at certain points, like last year, he might climb up and he didn't. And yeah, I like Ty Chandler a little bit.
Yeah, my running backs is basically the Seahawks, and then Bijan, and then Javonte, and then Foreman, and then be like the 4th or 5th guy would be Chandler.
Yeah. I like it. I like it, Rock Out.
Appreciate it.
All right, later, bro. Call back if you got another one. Ron Navy.
Oh, Canada.
Congrats.
To thee we say goodbye.
Congrats on
Farewell.
your
Goodbye.
birthday gift. Your birthday gift.
Yep.
Everybody throw a birthday cake in the chat for Ron Navy. Go ahead. Speak your mind on Canada and how the Steelers are now going to win the Super Bowl and all that.
No, I wasn't gonna. No, I'm not gonna go that far. I think that maybe things will get a little bit better offensively, but we're waiting until next year. I mean, next year's gonna be. God, we couldn't even beat a rookie quarterback with Cleveland. So the only viable fan on Pittsburgh is Warren right now.
So
That's the only one.
Do you believe that this, like, I don't want to hear your optimistic view, as you're probably wearing your Pittsburgh Steelers hat right now as we speak. Try and logically answer this question. Do you think the relieving of Canada of his duties is going to be a big uptick for Warren? Like, and it doesn't have to be like, I'm not talking about him becoming the best running back in the league, or I'm not trying to be overly optimistic. Just, there's no way they go back to like a 50-50 share. I think they see, the way I view this is that it's going to be, hey, I got to come in and hit a home run right now, replacing Canada's, vanilla play calling. And the one hot commodity we have right now, the guy that's just popping off is Warren. I see no way they enter this next week or two or three and dial back Warren. I only see them giving him a little bit more work. There's just no way they could not see that, right?
Yeah, but I also think with Sullivan calling the plays, the quarterback coach, he's going to be calling predominantly all the plays. Even though he's not like the OC, he's still going to be calling all the plays. I think you're going to see Pickett freed up a little bit to do what he does best, and that's basically roll out and make plays like we've seen him do with Pickens. I think we're going to see more of that. We're going to see more Warren. I think the offense is gonna. I think the offense is gonna look better, but it's not gonna be. I say it'll probably look about 20 to 30% better.
Yeah, I just think Warren's got to be the answer for. Okay, if like let's say I took over they handed me the keys to everything, I'd say, okay, first of all, what's been working? What's been frustrating to see not be used more? This guy Warren, 2 straight 100-yard games. He's explosive. I just hope things don't like somehow get worse. I just don't know. I'm not positive. I feel like Tomlin's very good at winning these low-scoring, garbage-feeling games where you're pissed off the entire game and then you pull it off somehow and you're like, okay, somehow I'm depressed and worked up and you won. Because I can't tell you how many times you're pissed off the entire game and you win the game.
It sucks because fantasy-wise, I mean, pretty much Warren is the only guy that's worth a fantasy pick. I mean, everybody else is just they're not doing nothing. I
love Pickens. You guys know how much I love his talent, but I can't condone starting Pickens over other options right now that might even be close because he's been in the doghouse. B, he's not in a good headspace in my opinion. Sometimes people that are running their mouth and squeaky wheel, sometimes that could be a positive thing. I don't feel like this is a positive thing. He got kind of demoted in the sense to make a statement. There's a lot of negativity. Maybe Canada going will maybe reset that, and that might be like a talk that is, a conversation that's had. But I still feel like until we see Pickens bounce back, I'm not going to start him yet.
This is the first time since 1948 any coach has been fired for the Steelers, and in the middle of the season. So, they've let coaches go after the season's done, on the off season, but never in the season. I think that Tomlin was losing the locker room, and I think that's why he made that decision, because you had all the guys were talking about it, and he was losing the locker room. He was honestly losing the locker room, so he had to do something, and firing Canada was the solution, if not short-term fix, but he felt the pressure of his guys, because he was losing the locker room.
Yep.
It wasn't just Pickens had the thing. I mean, Deontay blew up. Deontay and Najee, and there was defensive guys that they weren't. The locker room was not good.
Warren's good. All right, Ron.
Yeah, Warren.
What else you got, Ron? I got a slate of callers on here. Hit me with one more topic, and then I'll jump to the other guys. What else you got?
No, I was glad to see Philly win last night. Hurts, fantasy wise, it was good that he got those 2 touchdowns, because he would have had bad numbers if not. But it worries me with all these injuries. Every week, it's like you're on your edge. All right, who's going to be next? Who's going to be next?
Yeah.
Because there's like not just 1 or 2, 3 or 4.
Burrow and Andrews in the same game to kick the week off was just crazy. Like when that happened, and then it was Cup, and then it was Achan, and it was just one thing after another. It was boom, 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 boom. This is like bloody week 11. It was crazy. I don't remember a week as bloody as week 11 in a long time.
Yeah, they're all like, oh, safety's improved. Oh, safety's improved so much. Why? I mean, last year had a lot of injuries, but this year it's like crazy. It's worse than last year, and I thought last year was bad. Yeah. But anyways, I'll let you get on to your other callers. Everybody in the chat, thank you for the happy birthdays. I appreciate it, and we'll talk to everybody later.
All right, do it live. Drop a birthday emoji, a little cake emoji for Ron Navy. Ron Navy, appreciate you later. Okay, let's go over to Baked In Boys. My boy Baked In Boys. What's up, my guy?
Hey, Kitty, how are you?
I'm good. Long time no talk.
Yeah, would you play Charbonnet or Kyron Williams this week?
I'm gonna go Kyron. If Kyron's playing and there's no restrictions, and the word is he's gonna be fine, I'm going Kyron. But Sharps is a nice play. It's not the best matchup. The offense is struggling. The good thing is he catches a lot. So if, let's say, the Niners are up big, he could at least catch some footballs. But the odds are the run game will be game scripted out. You never know how these things go. Maybe, let's say there's a couple turnovers at the beginning of the game, and the Seattle Seahawks get up somehow, and it could happen, and then they run the ball all game. But the odds are that the Niners will be up, because the Seahawks have looked so bad. I highly doubt they put it all together in this one, on the short week, and then all of a sudden, run the hell out of the ball. But I do love Charbonnet a lot. But Kyron, if he's playing, this guy's been a top 5 running back all season long, and if he's out on the field, you got to put him in.
Okay, and a related question. In another league where I don't have him, the Kyron owner owns Kyron and Achan, and he can't play them both.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think about trying to use Jamar Chase? Oh, and that guy lost Mark Andrews.
Okay.
So he's gotten like a horrible tight end.
So you got a tight end?
What if I trade Chase and McBride for Kyron or for Achan?
Yeah.
Is that not asking enough? That guy also has Jacobs and Eckler.
Okay, so I would trade Chase and
horrible receivers, no tight end.
I would trade Chase and McBride for either Eckler, Achan. I would try and get a little more with Achan because he's hurt, so play that card. And Kyron, I'd try and get a little more because Kyron's been hurt, play that card. But I honestly would do it for any one of these 3. You don't need McBride, and these guys are better than Jamar Chase.
Yeah, I have
going forward. Do any one of those trades. I have a feeling you can pull one of them off. No problem about it.
Okay.
All right, bro.
Thanks so
Call us back and let us know when you get it done. Later. Hank from Illinois, you're live.
Should I offer Chase and Olave for St. Brown?
Chase and Olave for St. Brown.
Yeah.
Can you get something else in return? I'm not saying I don't like it, especially if you have the depth to do it, but I do feel like, it would be nice to see you get a second piece here, a la Ridley before last game. Free. You could have got Ridley for free. Flowers, he doesn't know the value of Flowers with Andrews and Odell out. Something. Something. Mitchell. Keaton Mitchell. Can you get anything thrown in here that looks perceptively bad to him? A throw in to him, but nice for you to get. You do that and all of a sudden it's game on, bro. Like you get a Keaton Mitchell who may or may not do anything, but he could be absolutely a gem for St. Brown. Smash. Do I do it in general anyway? Probably, but I just want to see you get the most bang for your buck.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, Hank, call back if you got another one. Later, Hank. Sebastian, you're live.
Okay, I'm only considering this trade because I have the depth to do it, but 9 times out of 10 I wouldn't. Would you do Tony Pollard and David Montgomery for JT, considering I have Gibbs and I'm sitting on JJ from IR? I would either have to bench Debo or Devonta Smith when JJ comes back.
I'm going to say no because it's just too much because, JT's really good, bro. And I feel like he's been scratching the surface, but he's also been scratching the surface for a while. And it feels like the best option here, but there is a world where Monty's as good. There is a world where Pollard is as good, and you have two of them, and going into the playoffs, going into, potentially more injuries awaiting us, I just like the diversity of this more. If you could get JT and, like I was saying to the other caller, something along the lines of like a Keaton Mitchell, who to him is worth nothing, and to you it's like, a swing. But then I start feeling really.
I got Sharps on my bench too, and Keaton Mitchell.
Okay, that's irrelevant. I'm just saying get something in addition in this trade, and then I like it. I'm saying like I said, a la Ridley before last week kicked off, like that type of thing. You got to think ahead of the curve here. What player can you get in here before they become Ridley again? Mitchell, Ridley, those types are examples of guys you should try to be identifying on his roster to see if you can, get it mixed in.
Garrett Wilson?
Yeah, of course, Garrett Wilson. If you could get Garrett Wilson thrown in, that'd be insane. All right. Later, bro. Appreciate you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, there's no way you get Garrett Wilson thrown into the mix, but good luck. 952 caller, who is this? Where are you calling from?
What's going on, Smitty? This is Brandon from Minnesota.
Brandon, what's up, Brandon?
Hey, man. So I find myself kind of struggling every week to determine who to start. I kind of got quite a bit of receivers. I basically can start 2 out of these 4 receivers. And I'm wondering if you can tell me kind of who I should be starting. It's Evans, Pittman, Metcalf, and Nico.
Okay. Well, just because, the problem with Nico is he feels a lot like Ridley in a sense, but he's going to be up and down. And you're either starting him every week or you're not. You just can't try and pick and choose or you get it wrong every time. I think because Tank Dell feels like he's taken over, it doesn't mean Nico can't do it the next week, though. They really have that kind of rotation at times. I just don't know that I think Evans for me and Pittman's pretty. I think you got to go DK and Evans for right now, but a lot depends from week to week how healthy DK's looking. DK looked pretty good last week. I really liked what I saw out of DK. What did Pittman end up having at the end of the day here? Michael Pittman.
I think it was like 13. Or no, it was about 14 or 15.
Yeah.
But I've noticed that Pittman seems to be a bit more consistent than DK. DK is pretty consistent too, but if you look at their overall rankings, Pittman seems to be quite a ways above DK, so I've been rolling Evans and Pittman.
Yeah. The only thing I'd say with DK, though, looking at it, I mean, back-to-back 90-yard games, back-to-back 9+ target games, and three out of the last 4 games, 3 out of the last 4 games, DK has had 9+ targets. 3 out of the last 4 games, 9+ targets. 2 out of the last 5 games. Let's see here. I'm sorry, strike that. 4 out of the last 5 games, he's had over 9 targets. That's crazy, bro. 4 out of the last 5.
Sure.
Talk about consistent. I think that's more consistent than Pittman, to be honest with you. 9 targets, 14 targets, 4, 12 targets, 9 targets. I guess yardage wise, maybe they're close, but DK's got the 2 back-to-back 90+ yard games. I'm going to go DK and Evans for now, but that's just me. But you got good options.
I have Warren. Would you ever consider starting him over DK?
Of course.
With Evans, or?
Warren and Evans are your must starts.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say Warren might be your best player out of all of those guys.
Okay.
I would say Evans is very arguable. I'm just trying to, I guess, emphasize, but I would say Warren and Evans I'm starting every single week if you're throwing him into this mix. Yep.
Okay, yeah. Basically, I guess it's just between those 5 players. I just need to figure out which 2.
Lock in Warren, bro. Lock in Warren. Lock him in.
All right, bro. We're locking that in.
Later, bro. Brandon, appreciate you. All right, 949 caller. Who's this? Where are you calling from?
Yo, Smitty. I'm calling from Southern California.
What's up? What's your name, bro?
My name's Tony.
Tony. Hold on. We might have 2 Tony. We might have 2 area codes of the same here. So Tony from Cali. Hey, Tony from Cali, you hang tight. I got another 949 caller on here. Who is this and where are you calling from?
No problem. This is Ken from California as well.
Okay. Kent?
Yes.
Ken from Cali.
Yes,
okay. You guys are in the same area. That's okay.
Yeah.
Go. Yeah, hit me with it, bro. What can I do for you, Ken?
Long time listener, first time caller.
Boy.
I just got offered DJ Moore for my Jamar Chase. Wasn't sure if I wanted to pull trigger on it. Just wanted to make sure and call and see what you thought about that.
Part of me wants you to get more just because of the name, but I guess I'd ask the chat, are we taking DJ Moore or Jamar Chase? Is this the line in the sand right here? Or is DJ Moore just damn safer? So everybody in the chat vote. If Fields was out, I would say hell no, I'm trying something different. And I still think I would potentially look to do something different, but at the same time, this might be your last chance to get a top 7 to 10 wide receiver. Chase could be 10 to 15, but he also could be Garrett Wilson, man. I mean, Garrett Wilson's wasting away, and it's very obvious why, and that's the same reasons that Garrett Wilson, who's a top 5 wide receiver. I want everybody here to understand, you better not think differently about Garrett Wilson's skill set because of what's happened in New York. He is a top 5 wide receiver. Garrett Wilson's a top 5 wide receiver. He's wasting away. It's not his fault, but it's very obvious and evident as to why that's happening. And that same recipe is being deployed in Cincinnati right now. So I would say DJ Moore's safer.
Okay. Because I'm looking at his team right now, and he does have Garrett Wilson, and there isn't really anyone else. And I don't think he's going to add someone like Waddle. So I was going to just pull the 1-for-1, and he was pretty much saying he was down, but just wanted to make sure.
Can you get like a Keaton Mitchell? Can you get like anything that could give you some upside?
I have Keaton Mitchell.
Can you get something like that?
League. What are your thoughts on Stevenson?
Yeah, you get Stevenson. It's done. The only hesitation I have is that you could get something better. That's kind of why the only pause I have is that, like, what if you could go get some of the examples I gave at the beginning of the show. Watch the beginning of the show because I think those examples are better. But if you could get Ramondre, who I feel has still got a little bit of remnants going on of his old self, it pops up here and there. You get Ramondre, and I'm down.
Okay, so because I tuned in on part of it. I know you said the little trickery trade. Who would I add? Who would you add in that? Would you do Jerome Ford and Chase for DJ Moore and Stevenson?
I don't think I'm adding stuff into it that feels even. Like Ford and Stevenson are very comparable, so I don't. Okay. I actually like Ford a lot.
Okay.
Stevenson. I mean, some might say they'd rather have Ford than Stevenson. So I would say.
Okay. Worst case, if he says no on Stevenson, do I just take the trade?
I don't know. I think DJ Moore is safer. I think a lot of people it's split in the chat. The chat was like more than a lot of Chase votes came in. But I think a lot of the Chase votes, no offense to anybody that voted Chase, but I think a lot of those are people that own them, and they're just
that's what I'm thinking too.
They're just kind of like, and I don't blame them. They're just like they don't want to admit that Chase is. They just want to have hope that Chase is the same, but I don't know.
Okay.
All right, later, bro.
Smitty, I appreciate you.
All right, Ken, appreciate you. Okay, now let's go to Tony, the other California caller. What's up, my guy?
Yo, Smitty, you the man.
You the man.
Okay, brother. Hey, all right. So I went ahead and I did that trade. I did Kyron and Monty for Garrett Wilson and Eckler. And now I've just got to make the best out of it. I'm in the half-point PPR. It's a 10-man league. I'm having some flex issues. I've got Henry with back-to-back weeks of about 2-4 points or so. And my options would be now it's Garrett Wilson in the flex, or I could go Adam Thielen. And I'm wondering, what are your thoughts on kind of Henry going forward rest of season with that horrible Titans O? And his schedule is pretty easy, but does it even matter at this point?
Repeat that last part, the last question.
Okay, so going forward with Henry in the flex, like how do you feel about Derrick Henry's schedule, rest of season? Not his schedule, but just his ability, the Titans offense, and kind of his position.
I think he's very questionable. Like he's very questionable. I think that Henry needs a certain level of attention and target share that's unique for him to do well. He needs to be given the football in the open space so he can get momentum on his own and not have to hit a hole because he's not going to hit the hole anymore. He's too slow. He's lost a step. He needs to gain momentum. He's still a refrigerator that once it gets going, how do you stop it? But how do you get it going? That's the problem. He's a freight train, but he's slower. He lost a step, so he needs to get the football in open space. Problem is, they don't always do that, and there's not any sort of way to indicate that they're going to continue to. So
would you rather play like an Adam Thielen, maybe a Ty Chandler, Keaton Mitchell in the flex, or Garrett Wilson at this point? Do any of those options?
I'd probably still be starting Henry in that sense, but maybe Mitchell becomes valuable, but he's not there yet.
Trustable yet? Yeah, I agree.
But he could be. He could get there.
The thing with the Tennessee Titans is they don't give him the ball enough. They don't get the ball they don't have the opportunity. They don't give him the opportunities, and they're not committed to the run. So it's like he can't get going. He's one of those running backs where you have to give him 19 carries, 18, 20 carries to get him going, and they haven't been doing that. And some of that has to do with game script.
Well, no, some of that is he doesn't have the ability to do it anymore, bro. He's not quick anymore. He lost his step. He's 29 years old. 28 is the drop off year, and he's 29 years old. He's had so much mileage. He had more carries and yardage in high school than a lot of players have had in college and the pros combined. Like he would run for 400 to 500 yards per game in high school. Like his tread is massive. His mileage is insane. It's insane. I believe he had one of the top 10 carry seasons too in college history, football history for a while. I don't know anymore how that's holding up, but he's had mileage.
If you were me, would you be flexing him going forward?
Yes. I'd flex him with the options you gave me. I'd flex him going forward, but it's not like I'm very confident in him. But
would you rather flex Thielen or you?
No,
be more
double down, Donnie. Like I said, bro. Miss Smitty, is that mayonnaise bad? Look at the expiration date. It says it's good. Okay, then. Can I use the mayonnaise, Miss Smitty? I mean, I as I've said 1,000 times, I would start Henry in that situation, but I'm not confident in it, bro. If you went Thielen, I'd be like, okay. I don't want to argue with you on Thielen and Henry. I really don't. It's hard to know. But I mean, to triple down on it, I'll say Henry. But I don't love it. All right, hey, Tony, I gotta go. Is this Tony? Yeah, Tony.
Thanks so much.
Tony,
Yeah,
appreciate
Tony.
you.
Have a great one.
I'm just messing with you, by the way. All right, Tony, appreciate you.
Take care, buddy.
Later. All right, I got to get through these a little bit faster. Young, I always cut you off and say 30 seconds, go. I'm going to give you more than 30 seconds, but everybody else, I'm going to 30 seconds. Young, try and keep it as quick as you can. I got to get to the super chats. Young, go ahead.
Hey, I could do that for you, Smitty. I appreciate you, man. So I just wanted to ask you, what's kind of your thoughts on Barkley after that game and the Giants as a whole? Going forward, do you think there's a little signs of life right there?
Yeah,
with that last game.
I wouldn't say necessarily about the offense, but I would say that by the way, there's some news about DK Metcalf. Toe did not practice in Tuesday's walkthrough. Metcalf popped up with the injury, new toe injury, adding hip and rib issues. So for the DK Metcalf questions that we've had, keep that in mind. We'll have to see how that goes. But Barkley, what I'm excited for Barkley is if he can make it through the season. And I'll tell you, man, the odds of that are not like 100%. They're not even close. He's always getting banged up. Always getting banged up. But if he gets through, where's he going? We very much will be talking about the Houston Texans as the ideal landing spot for Saquon Barkley. This guy can get in there with Stroud and Dell and an organization that knows what the hell they're doing. And they've got a coach that these players will go through a wall for, as Adams would go through a wall for Pierce. This is the place for Barkley to land, and we'll be talking about it all offseason. As for right now, he is going to be up and down because there's no way the Giants offense, one of the worst offenses in the National Football League, is going to be consistently as good as they were, this past week. But there's hope that they know how to get Barkley in a groove a little better. But game scripted out happens, but Barkley's definitely going to be their focal point. If I had to say there's a player that finishes way better than they started and feels like a lock to continue that course, it would be Barkley. I think Barkley's a really, really, really good running back 2, I think, for a lot of people, that's now going to play like a running back 1 again, even if it's low end.
Yep.
He could even be running back 7.
Yeah, no, definitely. He's picking up right now. Another thing too, just 2 more really quick things, dude. I have like 7 startable running backs at this point: Barkley, Swift, Achane. I'm not getting rid of Achane, but Barkley, Swift, Charbonnet, Mitchell, Chandler. I'm trying to consolidate a little bit, so maybe a couple of those guys or something for a better receiver. Who's a good go-get receiver at the moment, you would say?
Adams is still very undervalued. Diggs is my favorite go-get player right now because I think you can get him pretty easily. You said you have Barkley, Swift, Achane, who? Chandler?
Barkley, Swift, Achane, Charbonnet, Keaton Mitchell, Ty Chandler, Tajay Spears, but he's
no one's
kind of a sleeping giant.
No one's going to give you what you want for Mitchell. No one's going to give you what you deserve for Achane. And so really, am I trying to use like a wide receiver in Swift, or Charbonnet, Swift, and a wide receiver for Diggs, or Swift for Adams straight up even could work after Swift's big, solid game in week 11 there. He did well.
Yeah.
I think you could easily get Adams. I think, the buy lows are dwindling, I don't know. You could go after JJ if you feel like you can wait on that and using, Swift and a receiver, or Swift and Charbonnet. JJ might be attainable. You got to remember that whatever plan somebody had that owned JJ, the plan changed because the whole thing got flipped upside down. Cooper Kupp injured might be a good move for you, using like a Swift or a Charbonnet and a receiver. Devonta Smith's going to be hard to buy now. I think A.J. Brown's slightly cheaper than he should be, but everybody knows what time it is with A.J. Brown. But it's just he's slightly cheaper. Puka Nacua, those are all the guys I would go get.
Yep, got you, man. And then just thank you so much for giving me a little bit of time here.
Yeah.
Last thing, week 13, Kincaid on a bye. Who is the most serviceable tight end that I could go ahead and stream week 13 right now? And it sucks because so many tight ends have a week 13 bye. Like Isaiah Likely's there. He's got a week 13 bye too. Michael Mayer's got a week 13 bye. Henry's there. Conklin's there.
Mad Reg.
Chig is there.
Go ahead.
Yeah. And then Freiermuth.
Okay.
And Freiermuth has a good matchup.
Hit me with it real quick, and then I gotta move on. Muth. Who else?
Yeah, man. So pretty much the only one that's there is Freiermuth, because all the other ones that's worth picking up, they got a week 13 bye.
My answer is Freiermuth.
And I think Freiermuth is the most serviceable.
Who do I take? Freiermuth then. The only guy I can pick up is Muth. Should I take him? Let's ask the chat.
Bro.
Yeah, I don't know, bro. I mean, if there's somebody else,
That's kind of a one.
Yeah, there you go. Muth is the
answer. It's all good, Smitty. I appreciate you, brother, man.
Hey.
And have a good night.
All right, later, Young. Appreciate you, bro. Young to the moon.
Thanks.
Let's see here. First of all, I gotta acknowledge these. I'm coming for you. Ashton with the $20 hauler. Mad Regin with the $50 hauler. You guys are absolute straight monsters. We've got another one from Low with the $20 hauler. Who else dropped one? Josh Daniel with the $20 hauler. I'm coming for your super chats. And then everybody else that dropped one in between, I'm coming for you right now. I'm going to go down to 30 seconds for John and Cap. I'm sorry, guys, but you got 30, and that's it. I'm hanging up. You better get it in. We had a couple of people crap the bed yesterday on it. I'm like, 30 seconds, and then the guy gets like, yeah, so I have a team. Yeah, and what I'm thinking is, you got 8 seconds. Tell me what you think I should do. And this, time's up. So use it wisely. 30 seconds. John, go.
All right, 2 questions. Fit one of the following in half PPR: Charbonnet, Jacobs, Pollard, Garrett Wilson.
Pollard, Sharbs, Jacobs, and G. Willie?
Yeah, sit one of them in half PPR.
Probably gonna sit. Damn. I guess Garrett Wilson, but very, very tough.
That's what I'm.
Very tough.
I'm leaning. But all right. Second question. Start one of the following in full PPR: Jerome Ford, Javonte Williams, DeAndre Hopkins.
Ford, Javonte Hopkins. All right, John. Listen offline. George. Damn it. Hold on a second. I'm sorry. Ford, Hopkins, Javonte?
Yep.
All right.
PPR.
All right.
Full PPR.
All right. Ford, Javonte, Hopkins. I'd probably say I lean Ford right now. Javonte second. I'm sorry. Hopkins second. Javonte third, only because I don't trust the way they use him, and I think for good reason. Cap, you got 30.
All right. So for me personally, Tennessee, 3 straight road games. Henry can't have any worse games than what he's had the past 3 games. Personally, I just traded for him. They're playing Carolina. Carolina's in the same position as well. So for me, in a flex spot, I'm doing Henry. I just need your thoughts on a tight end spot. Tyson Hill or Cole Kmet? Thanks, man.
Yeah. Make sure Kmet's like healthy. But if Kmet's healthy... All right, later. Yeah, listen offline, Cap. Appreciate you. I would say if Kmet's healthy... What did he even... Let me pull up Kmet's stat line for him. Kmet. Cole Kmet. 4 targets, 3 for 30. He has 1 touch. He has two touchdown game 3 games ago against the New Orleans Saints. Taysom feels like he's dropped off, but is that just is he going to have a quick rebound? tough to know. I still like Taysom Hill quite a bit, but definitely feel like maybe that he's going to potentially return to obscurity again. He's done this. He goes through a string of games, but he's so productive when they use him. He's been on fire. His rushing attempts have been greenlit, given he's a quarterback combination / 11, 9, 5. He's been absolutely on a tear. And then last week it was 4 points. But I'd probably say Komet. Komet's safer as long as Komet's a go. And then let's see here. Jimmy, you got 30 seconds, bro. 30 and 30 alone.
You said Jimmy?
Jimmy, you got 24 seconds.
Oh, Smitty, would you take Josh Allen, Austin Eckler, and Garrett Wilson versus Kyler Murray, DJ Moore, Khalil Herbert, and no, there was someone else, bro. Damn, dude, I didn't think you'd hit me that quick, Smitty.
All right, listen offline. All right, he lost on us. He didn't get it all in. It's all right, Jimmy. Everybody craps the bed once in a while. Jimmy crapped the bed. He doesn't know who it is. It's Khalil Herbert, Murray, and DJ Moore and somebody. Based on this limited information that I have, I'm going to say this Josh Allen Eckler side absolutely annihilates the unknown side here. Unless this is a big dog here, that is definitely a lambasting on the Josh Allen side. Jake, you got 30?
Yep. All right. I lost Burrow. Offer on the table is my Bijan and Tank Dell for his Kyler and Diggs. And I can also switch out my Bijan for Brees if you think that's better.
So you giving up? I kind of want to give up, even though I love Brees and Bijan almost the same. It'd be Brees and Dell.
Yeah, for Kyler Diggs.
And you got no quarterback.
I have Gardner Minshew and Jordan Love.
Yeah. Chat, what are we thinking here? I really think Diggs is a super solid buy low right now. I hate giving up Dell. You could say Bijan instead of Dell. Or first of all, chat, who would you give up, Bijan or Brees? I kind of think Bijan's going to go on a tear. And that's a calculated guess. There's no for sure anything to this. It's all guesswork at this point. But I do think I did a Bijan video. You can go watch that if anybody hasn't seen it. There's a thumbnail of Bijan in it. But so I'd probably personally rather give up Brees Hall, given the offensive state of the offense in New York. I don't know that things are going to get super, super better. But I would say if we trade Dell and Hall for Diggs and Kyler, that could be league winning. I just think it could be massive. I love this side, but these are two I think Dell's going to continue to do well, but give me Diggs and Kyler. That's a big swing. I like it. Smash it.
Yep. All right. Thank you, Smitty.
Later, Jake. All right. Last one. Travis, you got 30.
All right. Week 14, I'm going to need a quarterback. I have a roster crunch, though. I would either have to wait till waivers clear, later in the week or whatever, or if I drop someone tonight, I'd have to drop Bigsby or Pickens, I guess. Should I wait on the quarterback? Or
Jimmy, mute yourself again. You're crapping the bed again, Jimmy. That sound is atrocious. Bigsby and I'm sorry. So can you ask me the question one more time? Travis, drop Bigsby for who?
I don't know what that sound was. So I'd have to drop Bigsby or Spears or Pickens to pick up a quarterback tonight. It's for week 14.
Yeah, I would say
Kyler and Howell on bye.
As much as I hate to say it, I'd say drop Bigsby, but I'd monitor him. Okay, but he's a little bit more ways away from helping you, but he's still very much a monitor type player if you drop him.
And then hopefully grab him back if no one else picks him up.
Yeah.
So, all right, and just quick, would you trade Kincaid to get Zay Flowers, or is that a little too much?
They're pretty close. I mean, if you need a wide receiver and you got a surplus of tight end options, I would say Flowers is going to get a huge uptick. But I quietly like Kincaid more in a vacuum.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
All right, later.
Thanks, Freddie.
All right, Jimmy, you got 30 again. Go. Last caller.
All right. Thanks for picking up my phone. So it was Josh Allen, Austin Eckler, and Garrett Wilson. And then it was for Kyler Murray, Breece Hall, Khalil Herbert, and DJ Moore.
Kyler Murray, Breece Hall was the other one. So it was Kyler Murray, Breece Hall, DJ Moore. I still like the Josh Allen side.
And Khalil Herbert.
Yeah, Josh Allen side by a lot.
You like the Josh Allen side?
Yeah.
By a lot?
By a lot.
Okay.
Is that what you traded?
Okay.
Did you trade that away?
He wants to do that. No. I'll be trading away Kyler Murray and all of them, but he's thinking about doing that. But instead of Khalil Herbert, he would for sure do Tank Dell. Like, that is locked in. I'm trying to get him to do a Herbert instead because I'm heavy on RB.
Yeah.
Would you still do the Tank Dell side, Smitty?
I don't know. That makes it a lot harder. I think,
Yeah.
I'd rather have Tank Dell than Garrett Wilson, so just take out Garrett Wilson. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
He does too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So I'm trying to give him Khalil Herbert in there, who I think is going to be good. Do you think Khalil Herbert will be good?
He could be. We'll see. He's a good player. All right. Hey, chat, vote on this one. Say it one more time. It's Josh Allen, Eckler, Garrett Wilson for Kyler, Breece, Khalil, and Tank.
And DJ Moore. Or Tank. I told him either or.
Yeah, I mean, if you could keep DJ Moore, then I'm still okay with putting Tank in there. But if you have to put DJ Moore and Tank in, I just think I'll push back on it and see what he does. But I mean,
How about the with Herbert? You would do it though. It's Khalil Herbert.
I like Khalil, but I don't care about it. Yeah, throw it in. Allen's side's probably better no matter what, but try nickel and dime him. All right, later, bro. All right, I'm out of here after these super chats here. We got Mad Regin with the $50 hauler, you monster. Mad Regin.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Mad Regin, appreciate you. 12-man PPR. Phone lines are closed, by the way, guys. 12-man full PPR. Trade deadline ends on Thanksgiving. 8-3. QB Kyler. Running back Warren, Bijan, Gibbs, Achane, Mitchell, DJ Moore, Chase, Debo. Drop Burrow. Open waiver spot. Any trade ideas? I like your team a lot. Am I interested in upgrading Kyler into Josh Allen as people judge Josh Allen right now? Absolutely. Do I like the idea of getting out of Jamar Chase? Absolutely. You heard my whole rant at the beginning of the show. If you missed it, please rewatch the beginning of the show and you'll get a big sense of what I think you could do with Jamar Chase. But do I try and go get Diggs? I would. Would I give up a player like like Debo to get Diggs using Jamar Chase and Debo? I probably would. DJ Moore and Chase for Diggs and something? Yes. Maybe you can mix the quarterback upgrade in that. DJ Moore and Kyler for Josh Allen and something small? Yes. Jalen Warren, I love a lot, by the way. But would I use Jalen Warren to upgrade Kyler into Mahomes or Josh Allen? Yes. I know a lot of people are doubting Mahomes right now, but I think he does, step up big when it counts. And Josh Allen, too. I'd almost rather have Josh Allen right now. But thank you, Regin. I think quarterback upgrade, even though I like Kyler, that's going to be, I think, where you really nail it. And Warren and DJ Moore and Debo feel like the only guys I'd potentially toy around with to try and get that upgrade done. Diggs is my other target for you. Smitty, what's up, my guy? Traded Lamar, Javonte Chase, and Metcalf for Stroud, Jacobs, Kyren, and St. Brown. I got him. Lamar, Javonte Chase, and Metcalf for Stroud, Jacobs, Kyren, St. Brown. I don't know if I hit a got him, but I'd say I definitely like that side better. My lineup is now... Yeah, I like that, Josh. Josh, are you still here? I'm sorry about the delay. I'm going to hit a Smitty approve for you. Especially if Jacobs continues to play well, but I would be tempted to trade him for Eckler and some deal for Bijan, potentially Jacobs for Achane and a player. I would be contemplating. Traded JT Barkley, Pittman for AJB, Kamara, James Conner. JT, Barkley, Pittman for AJB, Kamara, James Conner. I think it's pretty close. I mean, JT's coming on strong. Barkley looks really solid right now. Pittman's playing decent for sure. AJB, I still love him. Obviously, one game doesn't define anything. He's been a monster all year. Kamara, I still like him. I'd almost say it's pretty dead even. 8-3 first place, full PPR. Team is Hurts, Kamara, Monty, AJB, Diggs. I'd be scared of your team if I was facing you. So I think you did it fine. You didn't dismantle it. But flex one out of Waddle, DJ Moore, Sharps. Probably right now DJ Moore, but from week to week this could change. But right now DJ Moore. Fantastic team. Low with a $20 hauler. I'm going to give Low and Ashton and Josh another $20 hauler celebration for all you at once. Pushing the 3 bunk beds together.
Alert. Super chat alert.
You 3 monsters are unbelievable. Low, need some help. Who to start? Build my starting lineup. My team is Kyler, T. Law. So we're gonna go Kyler for now. Although you feel the need to throw T. Law, and and on top of that, let's pull up the schedule actually, and put this right here because that's pretty important. The Rams, the Cardinals are at home against the Rams. T. Law is on the road right at Houston. That could be a shootout though. Guys, are we going Kyler Murray at home, or are we going T. Law on the road against the Texans in a potential shootout? Maybe. Houston up big, maybe. T. Law either making mistakes thrown from behind or doing well and spreading that Law dog milk all over the field. Let's let the chat vote on that one. Running backs, Monty, JT, Kyron. You going Kyron, you're going Monty, you're going JT, as long as you can start 3 running backs. Your wide receivers are Tyreek and Keenan Allen without a hesitation. I guess the only dilemma would be, is it Monty or Ridley? And you probably got to go Monty for safety. If you could start all 3 of those guys on top of all 3 of those RBs, you are in the running. But if to choose for your flex, I'd say Monty's a tiny bit safer. And we'll let the chat vote on the quarterback situation. Thank you for your super chat. I'd probably lean Law Dog, I guess. I don't know. You know what? Kyler's safer. Traded London for Achane. I like that a lot, Uncle Philly. That's fantastic. Can't believe people are giving up on Achane. He's likely to play this week. Pick one. Achane, Pacheco, Garrett Wilson, down Sharps. I'm going to go Achane if he's playing. If Achane's playing, he's a top 5 running back play. Everybody's got really, really short, foggy memories on this Achane situation. It's hilarious. It makes me giggle. I have a belly laugh. And I just can't believe how people just judge him. Let's see if anybody says T-Law is still mid quarterback. At best says Swaggy. That's my dilemma, Kyler or T-Law. Vote on that. Kyler Murray, T-Law. Please vote in the chat. I lost Burrow, so I traded Monty away for Geno and Herbert. Thoughts? I don't hate... that better be Justin Herbert. I don't hate that trade if you need a QB. I like that. Picked up Dell. Let's see here. Picked up Dell and also Warren. Nice. I don't mind that trade at all for a quarterback. That's a solid move. You need a quarterback. Herbert's top 5, right around that territory. Purdy, Tua, Fields, or who stays and who gets traded? Probably keeping Tua and Fields and trade Purdy on the high, just because there's a lot of value there. But honestly, Julio, you got to trade who can get you the most return. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think you should be deciding that. Let the owner, the market decide it. Because if you start trying to decide who you're trading, instead of exploring all 3 options, then you might not get what you feel like you can get. Start 4: Warren, Hall, White, Sharp, Swift, Dell. I'm going Dell. I'm going Warren. I'm going Swift. And I'm probably going Rachaad White for safety against the Colts. Or Hall for high risk, high reward upside fins. But it does come down to Hall and Rachaad White. I think everything else needs to be locked in. And we can revisit that one later too. $5 hauler from Hoosiers. 4 and 7 could go on a run, though. Trade. Let it ride. Goff, Murray, Barkley, JT, Connor, Singletary, AJB, Pittman, Hopkins, JSN, Laporta. I like the team. There's not a lot of trade value here other than through Barkley and through AJB. But coming off a bad game, I just don't know that I want to sell AJB because people are fickle. Hopkins and Connor for one doubted player makes a lot of sense for me. Like Adams. Like, go get Adams for Hopkins and Connor. Go get Diggs using, maybe a Pittman, Hopkins, and Connor. Go get a player of that caliber. Go get maybe JJ using, use talent that you don't necessarily need, like Hopkins and Connor. And then you're waiting on JJ to come back. Cooper Kupp, same thing. Achane using Connor and Hopkins, or Pittman and Connor. Hoosiers, those would be fantastic moves in my opinion. Lewis, appreciate you. Smitty, should I trade my B. Hall, Rice for Gibbs? Only if you like winning. Only if you like winning, Lewis. Gibbs is definitely the player to go get right now, if you can get him that cheaply, which is crazy. Ray G, would you think Mahomes could have a bounce-back game against the Raiders? Right. I'm gambling last week and started Purdy over him, and it paid off. But this week, I'm going back to Mahomes. Yeah, I'm going back to Mahomes. I think Purdy's a solid play, but I definitely believe in Mahomes. 2-flex league. JT, Warren, Pickens, Ridley, pick 2. I'm going to go JT and Warren, but sitting Ridley is really hard, and I think that's a tough move, bro. Charbonnet, Wilson, Singletary, pick 1. Give me, I guess, Singletary right now, bro. He's just playing well, and that feels like a hard decision, but really it isn't. Achane or Warren this week. If Warren's safer, but if we hear Achane's a go, find a way to play both. I'm not going to tell you to sit one of those guys because they both should be in your lineup somehow. But Warren is safer right this moment. Who to start, Pacheco or Pollard? I would probably go Pollard right now. And Kirk or Nico, I think. I have a feeling Nico is going to bounce back this week a little bit. So personally, I would go Nico, but man, that's a tough one. Kirk could have a 2 TD game at any moment. You never know. This is a $10 hauler from Worldwide West. Hoping to upgrade for an elite wide receiver 10 team, 1 QB, 3 wide receiver, 2 running back, 1 flex. Team is Hurts, Goff, JT, Brees, Bijan, Achane, Kyren, Adams, Evans, Garrett Wilson, Deontay. I mean, the tight end surplus you have just sitting there with that is probably where you need to look and strike. So you got to go to the teams that need a tight end. You've got 2 of them sitting there, and I'd trade whichever one he wants. And I love your Kyren, Adams, Achane, Evans, Bijan, JT, and I even love Brees and Hurts. I like your whole team. I don't know that I'm that crazy worried about upgrading, except for if you can trade a tight end with Garrett Wilson to get a little bit of a bump. I'm doing that. Brees Hall, Garrett Wilson, and at one of the tight ends for a little bit of a bump. Like, what if you get an Eckler? What if you get a Diggs? Go get Diggs using that combination. Like, you could use Brees and a wide receiver and maybe that tight end to get Diggs pretty easily, I think, in a lot of situations. A lot of people are doubting Diggs big time. I have Wilson and Chase on the same damn team. Try to trade both. No dice. People just reject your trade and try to lowball you. Wish me luck. Ian, I'm sorry, bro. Keep trying. Don't give up sending trade offers out. Sometimes you got to get really creative, like to upgrade a quarterback. Like Mahomes struggled. Maybe you can upgrade your quarterback into Mahomes by giving up Garrett Wilson, like just an example. Dynasty 0.5, wide receiver AJB, Ayuk, DJ Moore, Dell, Ridley, Brees, Madison, Pierce. Should I trade DJ Moore for Jacob straight up? I think it's pretty even, Just Sherman. I think it depends on what you need. You need an RB. There's nothing wrong with Jacobs over DJ Moore. You need a wide receiver. There's nothing wrong with DJ Moore over Jacobs. It's pretty damn dead even. I'm playing CJ, Monty, White, Olave, AJB, McBride. Who do you prefer in full PPR flex out of these 3? Chase, Nico, Bijan. I'm going to go Bijan, but Nico and Chase are I don't want to say close, but like in the same boat of like if I find a better option, I'm starting that option. But Chase is probably the 2. But I'm going to go Bijan personally. But you're not crazy to sit Bijan and put Chase in. I mean, Bijan's got his questions too. But I'd start Bijan personally. And then I'd go Chase after that. Love Eckler, Hall. This is a $10 hauler. To the moon. Appreciate you, my boy. Love Eckler, Hall, Hill, Smith, McBride, Mixon, Addison, Carr. Trade deadline 4 and 7. I mean, honestly, I'm just trying to get rid of Mixon. I'd get rid of Mixon and, a potential Mixon and Addison, Mixon and McBride, Mixon and something to just get a tiny bump. I'm looking at Achane. I'm looking at turning Mixon and maybe I throw Mixon to upgrade Love. Josh Allen. Mahomes, like Love and Mixon for that. Like throwing Addison. I'd do that for a quarterback upgrade. McBride I throw in if I need to. Just Sherman 4-month membership. Can I get Singletary for a 25 second instead? I'd take Singletary. Singletary's a great play this week. Great low end running back 2 and flex play. So second rounder, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how long he's going to be playing well. Like I don't see him as being a guy next year, but certainly can help you win. I'd do it now, Just Sherman. This team's hard to, what are you going to trade though? Like Tyreek Hill, you could divide and conquer Tyreek Hill into Diggs and a running back. Upgrade Mixon into a better RB by going from Hill into Diggs. That's one idea, Noah, that could maybe take you to the promised land. Torres with a $20 hauler.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Torres, my guy. First place 8-team league. Mahomes, Howell, Gus, Gibbs, Mixon, B-Rob, Ford, Chase, AJB, JJ, Puka, TJ Hawkinson. I'm unsure of defense. Should I trade for a defense? I don't know that I would. I mean, sure. But what do you got to give up to get the Dallas Cowboy defense? Can you give up a Pittman? Can you give up a B-Rob? Sure. You got so much depth, you can afford to do something like that. Other people might not be able to. But where I would try and upgrade, keep Gibbs. I would try and trade like Chase and Mixon for one player like Eckler or freaking Diggs. That's what I'm doing if I'm you. Or Kelsey. Torres, your team's phenomenal. You got a good squad there. Vampy, appreciate my boy Vampy. Give up Javonte, Ridley, and Sharps to Walker owner for Diggs. Javonte, Ridley, Sharps to, yes, absolute smash. Almost a got him trade, to be honest with you, Vampy. That would be amazing. $5 hauler, Mahomes, Kyler, CD, Amon-Ra, Garrett Wilson, JSN, Gabe Davis, Achane, Javonte, Warren, Kelsey in first place. Stack. Yeah, your team's stacked. I don't think I'd do much but try and move Garrett Wilson and Javonte. Maybe Garrett Wilson and Warren for just a solid addition. Somebody doubted. We keep talking about Diggs. We keep talking about Achane, who you have, or Bijan. If you can turn Garrett Wilson and Chandler, Garrett Wilson and Javonte into Bijan, that would be a home run. Into Devontae Adams, that would be a home run. Those would be targets for me. And again, I keep saying it over and over that Diggs, Josh Allen, and Bijan are some of my best buy lows this week. 12-man, 8-3. Stroud, T-Law, Purdy, running back Hall, Bijan, Achane, Diggs, Keenan Allen, Ayuk, Devonta Smith, Kincaid, McBride. Trade ideas. Trade one of the tight ends away and try and upgrade, let's say, Hall slightly, even though I love Hall. It is what it is. Or upgrade Ayuk slightly. Or upgrade your quarterback. So Stroud to Mahomes, Stroud to Josh Allen, Stroud to Hurts. Those are, even though Stroud's playing amazing, I still feel like I would rather in fantasy have those three quarterbacks. So would I give up a player like Ayuk to get that done, or one of the tight ends to get it done, or potentially Breece Hall alone to get it done? I would. With your situation, your depth, I would want to get that top three quarterback score. But I do love Stroud a lot. Stroud's looking amazing. So you don't have to force anything. To start Achane plus Warren, I have to bench CMC or ETN. First of all, you're not benching CMC, okay? And you're probably not benching ETN. So this might have been a question I asked you. You have to figure out a way to play both of them. I guess safety's Warren, bro. Unless we hear some news that Achane's going to be full go, then I guess we have a dilemma and you got to bring that question back. But for right now, just put Warren in until you get forced to make a decision. You know what I mean? 10-man, 8-3, Kyler Murray, ETN, JT. Team looks good. Trade advice, also ETN or Sharps, Kincaid or Schultz. ETN and Kincaid for me. I think Schultz is playing great, though. As far as your team, I mean, I think you try and trade like K Walker and Charbonnet to maybe one of the tight ends. You know, maybe to potentially get just a Devontae Adams type of player and go across position, because Walker and Sharps won't look super attractive to other people. But if you go for a wide receiver, especially a doubted Adams, something like that, I think it's much more appealing and doable. If you start going after RBs, it's going to be harder. Trade advice: QB, 2 running back, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, 2 flex. Herbert, Bijan, JT, Gibbs, Monty, Javonte, Sharps, Amon-Ra. It's a good team. It's a good team. So Bijan, JT, Gibbs are your 3 running backs. Monty, that's your 4. Those are your 2 flexing, your 2 RBs. You start all of them. And then Amon-Ra and, God, I guess Amon-Ra, Puka, and Dell. So I guess you got to decide between Dell and Monty. Or Bijan. Dell, Monty, I don't know, bro. I guess I put Bijan on the bench and put Dell in until further notice, but you know, you gotta know. So Puka, Dell, Amon-Ra, JT, Gibbs, and Monty. Or you sit Monty, you put Bijan in if you want to get a little bit risky there, I guess. But that's tough. I mean, from week to week, you're going to struggle with that, Eli. And maybe we address that a little later in the week, too, when we have some news. We start hearing stuff about, you know, Bijan and I don't know. You're going to struggle on that one every single week. But it does come down to that final decision. At least the other guys I lock in. Stroud, Hall, Bijan, Gibbs, Eli Mitchell, Sharps, Diggs, Pitts, DJ. What should I do? Stroud, rest of season. Yeah, Stroud's great rest of season, but, you know, depends on if you can get, like I said, Mahomes, Josh Allen, etc. I try and trade for those quarterbacks right now. You've got 2 tight ends. You should be able to use one of those tight ends to a tight end needy team and figure something out. Easily doable. Bijan Gibbs. Bijan Gibbs is great. Diggs, great. DJ Moore, that's solid. Maybe DJ Moore and one of the tight ends and Charbonnet to get Diggs. Maybe Stroud and DJ Moore or one of the tight ends and Stroud to get Josh Allen. That's where I would go with that. Appreciate all my super chatters, my $20 haulers. You guys absolutely rock. We had Emmanuel Torres with the $20 hauler. We had Mad Regin with the 50 wad. We had Ashton with the $20 hauler. Low Kane with a $20 hauler. Appreciate you, Low. I had Josh Daniel with a $20 hauler. I had Nate Baker with a 20 wad. Nate, appreciate you. Thank you all for dropping 20s. Thank you all for watching the show. I don't know if I'll be back tonight. I thought about doing a Dynasty show tonight. Please, I'll drop the Dynasty link right now if anybody wants to make sure you're all ready to go and subscribe to the Dynasty channel. Here's the Dynasty channel right here. Also, know we're going to be drafting, so click that link and subscribe to the Dynasty channel. Also, know Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty. We'll be drafting on Underdog this week, probably tomorrow night. So if you guys want to draft with me, click this link now and just sign up. There's a $10 minimum. They'll double your first deposit. So if you do the minimum $10, they'll give you $10. If you do 100, they'll double all the way up to 100. So join and draft with me. Appreciate every single one of you. I'll see you all later. Deuces. Thank you. Young dropping a last second super chat here. Young says drop Chandler or Spears for Muth. If I have to drop one, it'd be Spears for now because Chandler is usable and Spears might not be picked back up. But, you know, you run the risk of dropping either one of those guys. Chandler's got the now applyability and Spears is that sleeping giant that may or may not be awoken. Vampy with his 19-month membership question says, how much do you trust Kyren Williams to stay healthy? I would say 7, 8 out of 10. I mean, there's always going to be a concern, but I definitely feel like I'm riding that wave, bro. I'm riding the Kyren train. So he's back though, and there's no concern I don't hear out of McVay's voice. So I ride the train, bro. Kyren, top 5 running back maybe all year. Peace out. Appreciate you all.